contribute and understand, and just kind of jump right in?
Yeah, so RJ is very intelligent. He's been through some adversity. Just when you talk to him and you learn about his background, what it takes to get to this point right here to come back home. He's coming in at 310. He has a tremendous amount of strength, so he can play the position from a football standpoint. He has the football IQ, so he can learn the defense. And I think reps is going to continue to help him move forward. So we like what we're seeing out of that. We just got to keep working him.
T-Rod had a little setback here, but what did he show you in your first 6-7 months together?
Productivity. He plays with high energy, a lot of effort running to the ball, and that can erase a lot of mistakes. And so this summer, he's another guy that changed his body, working out with Keith and Johnny consistently, with Bryce Barnes, just constantly doing extra with those guys. All right, so he's going to have an opportunity when he comes back to get right back in the mix because of how he trained his body to this point.
Are you seeing a comfort level for Bryce at defensive line finally, having been moved around so often in his career?
Yeah, it's a natural position for him. And for him, he was 240, I would say, last year during the season, and now he's about 285, pushing 285, pushing 290. But the good news is he's at that weight, but he's maintaining his strength. He's building his strength and he's maintaining his strength at the point of attack. So we're impressed in where he is, but he also brings that extra dynamic in the pass rush.
With Bryce being a walk-on and seeing how far he's come, Gibson City kid, the hometown, what's it mean to you just to see how far he's come and making an impact here at Illinois?
Yeah, so our program is built on guys like Bryce. Guys like him who can work their tails off and put themselves in rotation, maybe a starting opportunity and push for a starting role. He has an opportunity to start this year. And so having a guy like that, like Bryce, who can work his way to a starting role, that's the foundation of our winning culture moving forward. It helps us stabilize winning.
I feel like we don't ask you a lot about Johnny and Keith because we know them, they're good, but what has made, I know NFL scouts are here watching those guys, what makes them such talented players, or what makes them so good?
I'll say that the biggest thing is consistency. Their approach to the meeting room, how they take notes, how they're interactive in the meeting room for the younger guys and for themselves in terms of answering questions. Just so they know the defense, and because they're consistent, they don't have a choice but to get better each and every day. And so we constantly get those guys reps to get better and better, and so we're just going to continue to get better with those reps.
I know you've coached some really good ones. What are they capable of on the field this year?
Both Johnny and Keith are capable of executing on all down and distance in all situations, short yardage, third and long. They allow us to do a lot more with those guys and keep them on the field for a lot longer period of time because of their ability.
Seems like a nose tackle is one of those training camp battles that we look at. Who are the candidates that you have running to that position, and how do you feel about it so far?
Yeah, it's definitely a battle across the board. Wouldn't be fair to say it's not, in terms of that defensive end position as well. Like we mentioned, Bryce Barnes, Seth McConnell, Evan Kurtz, those guys are working at the DN position. But specifically answer your question with the nose position, that's the most important piece of the inside of our defense. And it's definitely competition. It's been that way since day one, since we lost Rod Perry. Ross is a tremendous, very productive football player for us. And so to lose him to the NFL, we need to fill that gap, fill that void. Now, the good news is we've had guys that have been working their tails off this offseason and also leading into camp here. We just finished practice 6. Those guys are working their tails off to solidify themselves as a starting role at that nose position.
You got to be a two-gap guy up there. Do you have a guy like that? And I want to ask you about Calvin Avery specifically too.
Mm-hmm.
Big-bodied guy. Does he fit that mode for you?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Calvin. He's matured quite a bit. With Calvin, he's a guy, for example, his first day at full pads, and we get a little chippy out there where he's got a teammate that's getting chippy with another teammate. He goes in right away and he protects his teammate. He pulls his teammate out of the scrum a little bit. So just showing maturity, just mentally, and then also physically for the position's sake. He's done a good job of changing his body and also maintaining strength, building strength, and really trying to be an anchor in there at the nose position.
How's his stamina? It seems like that's something, the ability to go, a full series or 2 series in a row that hasn't always been there for him. Is he better cardio wise? You think?
You know, I can't speak to the past before me, but this past season, you know, it's just something we like to do in terms of mixing guys up in the rotation. So, you know, in terms of his stamina, to answer your question, what we're doing this fall camp, the way Coach B has structured camp. For example, today's practice, we get into the end of practice and it's move the ball, and so at the point where you're the most tired, you're required to strain the most, and so. The way that practice is structured, the way the camp is structured, a guy like him, all of our guys, their stamina is going to increase. It's going to increase, and so he, like I said, he's changed his body, and he's putting himself in position to play a lot of reps in a row.
You talked about his maturity. He's a talented kid who can play for money. Eventually, has that hit him now? That he's getting toward the end of his college career. He's got to show the scouts something this year.
Yeah, he's focused on right now, and I like that about Calvin. He's focused on right now. He's focused on his academics. He's focused on the team right now and the goals we have in front of us. First game on August 27th, but he's got to work it day by day in camp to get to that point. And if he understands that if he does those things right, the rest will take care of itself. So that's where he is right now mentally.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.